heartwarming story of love and gratitude between a stray cat and a poor old woman. In a small, weathered cottage on the outskirts of a bustling city lived an elderly woman named Agnes. She had seen many seasons come and go, and her life was filled with memories of both joy and hardship. Agnes lived a simple life, sustained by her small garden and the meager pension she received. Despite her modest means, she had a heart full of warmth and kindness. One chilly autumn evening, as the golden leaves rustled in the wind, Agnes heard a faint, pitiful meow coming from her doorstep. Curious and concerned, she opened the door to find a scraggly, thin cat with matted fur and weary eyes. The cat looked up at her, shivering from the cold and hunger. "Well, hello there, little one," Agnes said softly, her voice gentle and soothing. She bent down and scooped the cat into her arms, feeling the frailty of its body. "You must be hungry and cold. Let's get you inside and warm." Agnes brought the cat into her cozy kitchen and set about preparing a small dish of milk and some scraps of fish she had saved from her own meal. The cat eagerly lapped up the food, its eyes brightening with gratitude. Agnes watched with a tender smile, feeling a connection forming between them. "I think I'll call you Whiskers," she decided, noticing the cat's long, delicate whiskers. From that day on, Whiskers became a constant companion in Agnes's life. The cat would follow her around the garden, curling up beside her as she tended to her plants and sleeping at the foot of her bed each night. As weeks turned into months, Agnes and Whiskers developed an unspoken bond. Whiskers seemed to understand Agnes's routines and moods, offering silent comfort when she was lonely or tired. In return, Agnes took care of Whiskers with unwavering dedication, ensuring the cat was well-fed and cared for. One winter, a particularly harsh storm hit the city. The winds howled outside, and the temperature dropped drastically. Agnes, already frail from age, fell ill with a severe cold. She lay in bed, shivering and weak, unable to muster the strength to get up and care for herself. Whiskers, sensing that something was terribly wrong, stayed by Agnes's side. The cat would nuzzle her, purring softly, trying to provide warmth and comfort. Whiskers even ventured out into the storm to find help, returning with small pieces of food scavenged from neighbors' trash bins. Days passed, and Agnes's condition worsened. One evening, as the storm raged outside, Whiskers heard a faint knocking at the door. Summoning all the strength it had left, the cat managed to open the door slightly. A kind neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, stood there, concerned by the lack of activity from Agnes's house. "Oh dear, Agnes!" Mrs. Thompson exclaimed, rushing inside. She found Agnes in bed, pale and feverish, with Whiskers lying protectively beside her. Realizing the dire situation, Mrs. Thompson called for an ambulance and stayed with Agnes until help arrived. Thanks to Mrs. Thompson's timely intervention and the unwavering companionship of Whiskers, Agnes recovered slowly but steadily. Throughout her recovery, Whiskers never left her side, providing the emotional support that only a true friend could offer. As spring arrived, bringing warmth and new life to the garden, Agnes and Whiskers resumed their daily routines. Agnes often reflected on the incredible bond she shared with Whiskers, realizing how much they had given each other. Whiskers had saved her life, and in turn, Agnes had given Whiskers a home filled with love and care. In the twilight of her years, Agnes knew that true wealth wasn't measured in material possessions, but in the love and gratitude she shared with Whiskers. Their story was one of mutual rescue, proving that even in the simplest of lives, profound connections could blossom and thrive. And so, in their little cottage on the outskirts of the city, Agnes and Whiskers continued to live out their days together, grateful for the heartwarming friendship that had brought light and warmth into both their lives.